Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World in the Black Business School. And I am up this morning ready to get on the flight. I'm about to head out of town to go to we'll go back to Chicago. I had a great time in Philadelphia, and it was awesome and wonderful and amazing, and just so much fun. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a text message out to the family to let them know that we are live. If you want to get a text alert when we go live, just text. Just it's very easy. Just text the word Boyce. BOYCE to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996, and you can find out when I go live. Also, make sure you subscribe and don't forget that we're on iTunes. If you want to listen to our podcast in addition to watching it on YouTube, you can just go to iTunes and we'll be right there. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button as you begin. I see some of you are popping in here early in the morning, or this morning. It's not super early. It's 9:30 a.m. But I'm going to go ahead and send out the text message to the family and let them know that we are live. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to send it out right now. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Text message is sending out. Is being sent out now. So now the family knows that the rest of the family is up and ready to kick some butt. All right. So how you doing, DDS? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So as the notifications come in and as people come into the live stream, I want to let you guys know what has transpired, what led me to take the time to have this quick conversation before I go get on the airplane. Basically, Oprah, I kind of thought this was going to happen. I was curious to see how she was going to respond. Oprah is getting dragged a little bit online after Robert Smith, a fellow billionaire who actually, he actually has a higher net worth than Oprah. A lot of people didn't know this. But Robert Smith, went out and did something that nobody expected. It was really a shock to the world. He gave a bunch of money to HBCUs or to HBCU students. He went and he actually paid off the student loan debt of all the graduates at Morehouse College, or at least that was the pledge he made. And so I'm going to make the assumption that whatever he pledged, he's going to follow up on. I couldn't see any reason why he wouldn't. I hope that there aren't a lot of crazy strings attached to getting your loans paid off. The amount that they estimate is going to cost to do this is going to be about 40 million. And so he's thrown out his 40 million allegedly to go ahead and help these students with their student loan debt. Now, Oprah has actually been challenged on this, and I actually thought about Oprah when I saw this. I said, I wonder what Oprah thinks about this. I wonder if Oprah is going to feel any pressure, because what's really happening here is that Robert Smith has really upped the ante. Robert Smith has really upped the ante. Robert Smith, by going in here and doing something so cosmically spectacular for Black people, especially Black men, a group that people are accustomed to ignoring, a group that Oprah has been accused of not really caring a whole lot about. For him to do that much and do that for Black men, it really kind of puts everybody else to shame. It's really a lot like it's kind of like Christmas comes and imagine you're at Christmas, right? And you every year you have been the star of the family Christmas gathering because you bought over a turkey and you gave everybody a pair of shoes, right? Everybody in the house, you get some shoes, you get some shoes, you get some, right? So you're like the star of the show. Everybody loves you, right? And then you got a cousin who comes in and says, I'm going to pay off everybody's rent for the entire year, right? Like whatever your rent is, just put your mortgage payment or your rent payment on the table. Let me know what it is. Give it to my accountant. I'm going to cover your rent for the entire year, right? Everybody goes crazy, right? The whole family's like, oh, oh shoot, we good, dog. Money's coming my way. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, white Jesus and black Jesus. Oh my God, I woke up this morning praying to white Jesus and black Jesus just in case, and they both told me that my blessings was coming, and then it happened. Right, so everybody's falling all over themselves, going crazy. It's the greatest day of their lives. It's amazing, right? And you're sitting, and then after that, you come in there. You used to be in the star. You used to getting all the attention. And you come in and you're like, yeah, well, here's my shoes. Hey, everybody gets a pair of shoes. And then and then people are like, yeah, that's thank you. I appreciate that's so nice. That's so nice. And then somebody else didn't. Then one relative says, well, I mean, he makes the same money as you do, and he paid everybody's rent off. He makes a little bit more, but not that much more, like 10% more. But he paid everybody's rent off. Like, what you gonna do? You've been buying the shoes, and you knew that your relatives, you knew all your cousins were struggling, but all you did was buy us a pair of shoes, right? And even worse, somebody could be like, well, when we see you buying stuff for your white friends all the time, and that becomes Oprah, right? Oprah, let me tell you about Oprah. What, based on my assessment of her from watching her closely, I do not know Oprah personally. I only know what I see, and I analyze things, and I try to get some sort of insight into where a person comes from mentally. Oprah loves attention. I think Oprah loves attention. Oprah loves affection. I believe that deeply. And the reason I believe that is because if you go back and you look at Oprah's magazine, let me show. Oh, I can't pull it up. Damn. I can't pull it up. I can't do a screen share. Go and Google search old magazine covers. Google search, type in covers of old magazine. And I want you to go look at every cover of old magazine for the last zillion years. And I want you to tell me what they all have in common. Can anybody tell me if you know about old magazine, Oprah's magazine, tell me the one thing that every cover, damn near every cover of Oprah magazine in history has in common. What does it have in common? There you go. There you go, Doom. You got it. Too rich. Yep. Oprah is on every cover of every issue of that magazine that's ever been put out that I've ever seen. Now, she might have put somebody else on the cover every now and then. She might have gave somebody else great. Maybe they've even changed the policy since then. Maybe I'm old fat. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't read the shit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't read old magazine. I just see it in the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, okay. There's Oprah in green. There's Oprah in red. There's Oprah in yellow. There's Oprah with long hair. How'd she grow long hair in a day? Yeah, but I'm a man. We stupid. We don't know about weaves and shit, right? Now Oprah got braids. Those look like dookie braids. Now she got short hair, long hair. Now she's wearing red again with the long hair, right? Every time it's Oprah on the cover. Every time. I think that part of that might be driven by almost an awkward form of narcissism, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I would feel a little weird putting myself on the cover of every issue of my magazine. I understand you are the brand. You are a powerful brand, and you're a great, human brand, a great walking brand. But putting yourself on the cover of every issue. And the thing about it is that creating those brands where the brand is you, that's actually very dangerous, because if somebody comes out and discredits you or attacks you or says bad things about you and ruins your reputation, then that kind of ruins your brand. And so if she were now, the only thing though is in America, you can really, the people that really have the hardest time doing that are black men. Being a black man and having a one person brand is extremely difficult, because people are very quick to destroy black men. You look at Bill Cosby, because I'm gonna tell you like this. I know a few people in Hollywood and stuff like that, and they've told me some really crazy stories about Oprah. Go look up, some of the stories Oprah's ex-boyfriends have told her. There was this story about the drugs. There was a story about all other things that she's done behind the scenes. Somebody tried to write a tell-all book talking about what kind of terrible person she was behind the scenes, how many people she's hurt, things like that. Now, again, do I believe all that? No, I think it's just the nature of it's the nature of the game. I think Oprah has risen through the ranks, and she's probably cut a few throats on the way. She's had to in order to be successful. Maybe she didn't have to. I don't know. But I think that, when you get to that level, you're going to have some haters who can easily make you look bad, and they can line up all your accusers, all your haters, and just destroy you one by one. But the problem is that only typically works if you're talking about a black man. So Oprah versus Bill Cosby means that Bill Cosby can easily be brought down. Oprah, not so much. Oprah, not so much. Like you can't reveal all the interesting things about Oprah's sexual history, which actually I've heard some very interesting stories. I'll just say that. And you can't shame her with that. You can't bring that out and be like, oh yeah, well, Oprah did this and did that. Like people aren't going to care because she's not a black man. She's a black man, then it's all bets are off, right? They will tear your ass down, act like you ain't never did shit for nobody, act like you're worthless, and that's it. It is what it is, and that's the world we live in. Just protect your sons. Just protect your sons, especially when they go off to college. When the Me Too era, they sleeping with a white girl. She decides that she's mad because he won't date her anymore, and then she screams rape. They locking up your son before they even ask him, "Did you do it? Do you even know this girl? Did y'all have sex? What happened that night?" They don't ask that shit. They put you in handcuffs first in front of your friends, take you down to jail, kick you out of school, and then they eventually might get around to trying to find out what the fuck happened, but they don't really. It's a dangerous time to be a black man because y'all brothers is getting lynched out here. Y'all brothers, I'm black too, but we all black men are being lynched. Go check out Albert Wilson. Look up the hashtag Free Albert Wilson. Everybody, look it up, please. Go find it. Support this black man. Don't let a black person get lynched on your watch and you ain't even said nothing. At least tweet the shit. Goddamn, excuse my French. I'm sorry. Let me shut up. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Also, you're watching drboystv.com, the home for intelligent black people. If you're not black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out because this is not going to work for you. We do critical analysis here. We break things down. We look at things in ways that other people do not. And that is what we love to do. Also, don't forget that we believe in the black core of three. The black core of three is that we believe that black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support black businesses. That will build us Black Wall Street. That is what will make us great again. So we want to make we're on some black MAGA type stuff where it's like we want to make Black America great again. So we on some Mabaga. I don't make Black America great again. Mabaga. That wouldn't work on a hat. Anyway, I'm being silly. So let's keep on. So hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. So here's one thing that Oprah said that really got people, going on her Instagram, Twitter, whatever it was. I'm looking at her Twitter, and she, again, Oprah, loving to brag about the great things that she's doing in the world. She announced that she went to go speak at some white school, some Colorado college, which I'm sure they got about 4 black students there. And she basically said that, let's see here, she has a picture of herself with a white boy. Being closely in line with white people is a good way to make money. I should do more of it. I just don't get around. I keep forgetting to get around to my kissing up to white people agenda. I need to make sure I add that to my calendar. Like, wait, let me put it on my to-do list. Kiss a white man's ass in public. Okay. All right. I put it on my to-do list. It's on now I got it on my to-do list. It's at the bottom, but it's on my to-do list. And so she has a picture of her with a white guy, and they're all excited about graduation. She says, I don't know who this guy is, but he sure is happy to graduate. I shook hands with all 571 members of Colorado College's class of 2019, which is great because I'm Oprah and I shook everybody's hand. And I'm so down to earth and so cool and I'm so wonderful. Y'all should love me. I'm playing. I'm being silly. And she says, and I gave them a copy of The Path Made Clear. So here's what she is saying in this tweet. She's saying that I shook all their hands and I gave all of them a copy of my book. That's what I did for these college students. I gave them right after a fellow billionaire, Robert Smith, another black person who just passed up Oprah on the Forbes list and all that. Right after he, goes out here and does something extraordinary, Oprah says, oh, but I gave everybody a copy of my book, right? Again, what I tell y'all about the narcissism, the attention-seeking behavior, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose Oprah. I ain't no therapist. But think about this. She just said, I want you all to know that I shook everybody's hand and I gave everybody a copy of my book. Well, let me just say this. I'll just, tell you this too. I give copies of my book out all the time. I've given out probably about 100,000 free copies of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, which if you want a copy, by the way, you can go to drboycewatkins.net. Giving out copies of your book really isn't like giving anything. What that is that's actually marketing. Like you're marketing your product. That's how people market their new book, is they give out a lot of copies so people can read it and tell their friends how great it is. Now, I'm not diminishing Oprah's contribution to these young people entirely, but I am saying that I guess I am kind of saying like whoop-de-damn-do. Like that. It's kind of like, okay, That's not really like that's kind of ho hum now. You see, and the thing is that amongst the black community anyway, Oprah's brand was already tumbling in the black community because of the fact that she decided on a Tuesday morning that she and her homegirl Gail wanted to go dig up Michael Jackson's dead body and hang him in public. Like she wanted to dig this black man up and say, does he have a penis? Because we need to cut it off. And we need to make sure that whatever little reputation he has, that it's destroyed. And we're going to do those. It's all in the name of protecting people from sexual predators. We're going to fight for sexual predators so hard that we're going to go find a dead black man. We're not gonna go get Harvey. Somebody probably said, "Well, what about Harvey Weinstein? You know, Harvey Weinstein's still alive. His penis still works, and he's probably gonna go hurt somebody else in his lifetime. Let's go get him." And Oprah's like, "No. We need to go get the dead black man because that's easy prey. He's dead and he's black. Ain't nobody gonna give me backlash for that. I'm not gonna lose movie deals because of that. I'm not gonna lose opportunities because of that. I'm not gonna lose my white friends because of that." Let's go get the dead black man. Since everyone else is we're going to create a bandwagon and then we're going to jump on it and we're going to go and we're going to drag his reputation out in public, even though Michael Jackson has already been subjected to an FBI investigation to see if he was molesting anybody. I'm not kidding. I always thought it was strange that he was hang out with the little kids and hold hands with them and all that stuff. But I'm like, well, I guess if the FBI investigated that at the very least, that means that he wasn't proven guilty. And in America, we're supposed to have a country where you're kind of innocent till proven guilty. So if somebody says, well, you know, I think that Billy stole. Billy's been stealing people's bikes in the neighborhood, and you say, "Oh, that Billy, that son of a bitch, he out here robbing people. He looked like he'd steal somebody's bike." And then somebody says, "Well, you know, the FBI and the local police and the state police all conducted a thorough investigation of Billy, and they found no wrongdoing on Billy's behalf." Well, you might be like, I'm still thinking Billy is a son of a. I bet he might have took one of them bikes. He lying, right? You might feel that way, but you have to submit to say, well, I mean, damn, they did investigate. So I guess, you know, okay, Billy, all right, man. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to accuse you, right? You have to let that go, especially if Billy's dead. If Billy's fucking dead, then who cares? You're not helping anybody. You're not saving any children's bikes by making sure that Billy gets humiliated from the grave, especially when Billy can't stand up and defend himself. There's almost nothing more pathetic than somebody who attacks a dead person, like publicly, especially when they don't have to do it. You know, when they don't really, when there's other targets out there that are far worse than they are. There are systematic targets. You know, like Hollywood is filled with pedophiles. Like LA has more pedophiles than they have dog lovers and environmentalists. And LA has a lot of dog lovers, a lot of environmentalists, and a lot of weird white people who do weird things. But for however many dog lovers and environmentalists they have in Los Angeles, I bet the pedophile to dog lover ratio is probably like 2 to 1. You know, like LA is a really debaucherous place. So you're surrounded by debauchery. And there's nothing that bothers me more is when the people who are in the midst of debauchery point at the black man and say, "You're a debaucherous son of a bitch. You're the scum of the earth. You're the, people that have built the whole damn country on violence toward other people come along to the black man and say, "You're so violent. You people are so violent. And y'all asses make so many damn guns that you have more guns than people. We don't manufacture no guns in the hood, but you're going to point out, you people are so violent. We need y'all to trade your guns in for groceries and Air Jordans because the gun issue in the black community is just out of control. These black people have so many guns. Well, the black people get the guns from white people. There's no other place we can get them. Y'all tell me, do y'all know anywhere black people in the hood are manufacturing guns? I need to see that gun factory because it sounds like a pretty impressive business model. Because I don't know anybody. I don't know no Black Smith and Wesson company that's in the hood that's manufacturing guns. So how are you going to be the most violent group of people on earth and always look at us and say we're the violent ones? Or how are y'all going to be some of the biggest damn child molesters on the planet, but the face of predatory behavior just happens to be black men, 3 black men that you string up on the cross? You got the surviving R. Kelly. Well, he's a son of a bitch. I ain't defending R. Kelly, but my God, there ain't no white R. Kellys out here. Y'all ain't got no white. Wait. Oh, that's right, Elvis. Oh, but Oprah, I'm sure if you look up anything Oprah's ever said about Elvis or Priscilla, it's always been, such wonderful people. They're so great. Oh my, right? But Oprah ain't digging up Elvis's dead body to talk about the fact that there is clear proof that Oprah was sleeping with that little 14-year-old girl and giving her drugs. She ain't said nothing about that. She won't do that. I mean, I'm just seriously curious. I need to ask Oprah. That's what I would ask her. I should go to Oprah's Twitter and say, Oprah, why did you not address Elvis Presley and the fact that he molested the 14-year-old girl and she actually said it on camera? That is more compelling proof than whatever you think Michael Jackson did, despite the fact that he was conducted or he was hit by and had to endure an FBI investigation. I mean, let's just be clear. You know, it ain't saying that there ain't no guilty black people out here. We know that there's guilty black people. But like they say in that hashtag, them first. Point out, give us 10 guilty white people, and then we'll give you one guilty black person for every 10 guilty white people you give us. Because we got some Negroes we want to trade into. We want to go to the racial draft and trade certain black people out of the community and maybe get us a couple of white people, maybe an Asian or two, maybe a Rachel Dolezal or whatever, or Sean King. There's a dispute of whether or not he's black. I think Sean King's black enough. He can come in. He's black enough. So Sean, you good. I don't care if you're black or white or whatever. You my guy. But seriously, since we're like 13% of the population, that's the way the trade should go. It should be 10 guilty white people for one guilty black person. So Oprah should cover 10 guilty white people, and then we'll be like, yeah, you know, she's dragging this black man pretty hard. She's dragging R. Kelly today, but you know what, R. Kelly, we all right, y'all can have him. The fact that it's good though that you dragged all those 10 white guys first, because at least we know you're fair. At least we know you're not racially profiling us the way the cops do when we're walking down the street. At least we know that you're not picking us out of the crowd and saying, Negro, what are you doing? And pulling us out there in a way that we don't deserve. Right. So anyway, let me keep going. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget that this podcast is on iTunes. If you haven't checked us out on iTunes, you can download and listen on iTunes. Also, don't forget the summer's coming, and we have our financial flashcards for children in our financial workbooks for children. So if you want your children to be financially literate and you want them to be smart and rich like Oprah one day, then teach them financial literacy early. That's what's going to get them ahead. And you guys know what we're all about in the Black Business School. So if you want to check out the financial workbooks, go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. If you want to check out the flashcards, you can go to financialflashcards.com. That's financialflashcards.com. So thank you, Real Talk, for your donation. Real Talk says, true. Can you believe there are people in our community saying negative things about Robert Smith's freedom from debt gift? Yeah, the thing about it is that I believe that you will get whatever you're looking for, right? So if you're looking for negative, you're going to find negative. Right. And no matter what the situation is, if you're looking for positive, you're going to find positive. So that's why I tell you guys to be careful about looking for negative. There's a lot of negative things one could say about the gift or about Robert Smith. A couple of things that came off quickly that I've seen and that I think should be laid on the table so people have that discussion. One is, there's a difference between promising the money and paying the money. Right. Because nobody knows if there are strings attached. Nobody knows if it's going to be delivered. But there's no reason to believe he won't do it. I mean, the man literally craps out $40 million in a couple of weeks. I'm not kidding. If you go look at what he makes per year, he makes about $250 million a year just for breathing. Right. So if you're making $250 million a year just for waking up in the morning, then yeah, promising $40 million is not a Herculean task for someone like him. Or even Oprah for that matter, right? But so I'm hoping that he does what he says he's going to do. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't do it. But remember that there are people like I think sometimes Diddy actually can be accused of this. Diddy likes to make big announcements. And I think that there should be some accountability where people can go back and look at all of Diddy's big announcements of what he's going to do for black people or what he's going to do for a specific black person, like the little kid who got called a monkey by H&M or whatever it was. And he said he's going to give him $1 million modeling contract or something. I'd like to know if that happened. Like what did the kid really get? How did that really go down? What was the real conclusion to that whole situation? It does not mean that Diddy didn't follow through on his commitment. It just means that Diddy is very big on flash. Robert Smith is not so big on flash. If Robert Smith could have been flashy, he could have been famous long ago. He just chose not to be. Robert Smith has chosen not to be in the public eye. He's chosen to be a guy who's kind of low key. And I think that that this sort of, makes me think, okay, there's a strategic reason why he's deciding that he wants to come out and, out of the closet as a black man. Maybe for all these years when he's trying to build these billion-dollar deals, or whatever it is, maybe he felt like, okay, I can't let people know I'm too black because I don't want to miss out on these billion-dollar deals. But as soon as I really am big money wise, then bam, I'm gonna jump out on them, be like, ha, I've been black all along. Ha! Right? Like I was thinking that maybe that's his master plan. And if that's the case, I'm like, that's brilliant. Maybe he's like, I'm a black man, y'all. Y'all thought that I was white, but I was really black the whole time. You dumb sons of bitches, right? I think that's great. I think that's cool. I think that's fine. That's a good strategy. And if you listen to Robert Smith's speech, I got to give him credit. I'm gonna tell y'all this. When I first heard about it, I was happy, but I was also skeptical. Black people have been played with a lot. We've been lied to a lot. We've had people play with our emotions a lot. We're like somebody who's been hurt over and over and over again. And somebody walks up and says, I'd like to take you away. And I think you're beautiful black people. And I want to marry you. And I love you so much. And you're like, yeah, wait, whatever. Yeah. That's what the last 8 people said. Right. So there's a part of us as black people where we're naturally, logically very skeptical. When somebody says that, we're like, why would you? Seriously, I mean, self-esteem is real, right? But low self-esteem for black people is very real. Tell me, yes or no, if you agree with tell me if you did not have, if you can't imagine that there are black people out here who literally were like, why would you give $40 million to black people? Like, why would you do something that massive for black people? Like and people understood, like when Oprah goes and gives millions of dollars to a white charity or builds a school in Africa or whatever it is that she does, right? And not that, no disrespect to people from Africa. I mean, we are African in the blood, all of us are, but but there's not, I've never seen her do any sort of massive African-American effort that's in the tens of millions of dollars. I mean, let's just make sure we're clear on what I'm saying here. If Oprah put as much energy into saving HBCUs as she puts into feminist causes, then HBCUs wouldn't have any financial problems. The top 20, 30 HBCUs could be saved in a couple of weeks. If Oprah and Beyonce got together and said, we're going to really make this our priority. We're going to get all of our wealthy friends and we're going to push them to give money. We're going to hold a massive fundraiser and we're going to raise $250 million to shore up the endowments of the top 20, top 30 HBCUs. Or really all of them. We'll make sure all of them get a little something, but we're going to make sure that the top ones are solid. So we at least have 20 or 30 solid schools, that are, I wouldn't say in our community, because HBCUs technically are not really owned by us or run by us. That's important to understand. But, we love the HBCUs. They're important. They generate the black doctors, black lawyers, and everything else. And you got to respect that, right? You got to respect that, right? So let's just be clear about that. If Oprah were to put as much money into, or as much energy, not money, not so much her money, just her influence and her fame, into saving HBCUs as she puts into white feminist causes, HBCUs could be shored up tomorrow. If Oprah were to put as much energy into HBCUs and shoring up HBCUs as she puts into, let's say, supporting Democratic Party candidates, like when she supported Barack Obama, I think she could save HBCUs in a couple of weeks, right? So the problem you have as black people is that you've got the wealth and the money and the power. You've got people that can do this job. The problem is that these people don't see the job as being important. It's about priorities. It's just like every time Alicia asks me, Boyce, when are you going to clean up this room? I got a little room that's like a man cave. And she's like, Boyce, you said you're going to clean up this room at some point. When are you going to clean up this room? And you know what I say? I say, oh, sweetie, I had to do this. I had to do that. I had a meeting. I had a phone call. I promise I'm going to do it. I just don't have the time. I got all these other things to do. I had to call mama. Then I had to do this. I had to go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then she looks at me like, and she gives me that look. Right. And the reason she gives me that look is because she knows I'm full of shit. You know why she knows I'm full of shit? Because she knows that I'm a man that gets things done when they are important to me. She knows that when I am determined to finish a book, I'm hammering away on that book. Well, she knows that when I'm determined to get to the gym, I drop everything I get to the gym. She knows that when mama calls, when it's important for me to talk to my mama or my daddy, I make time for that people make time for the things that matter to them. They find the resources to do the things that matter. Right. When I talk to young ladies about men, and when they ask me like advice about men, I tell them, I say, I don't know if your father told you this or not. I wish he had. But let me tell you this. Don't ever listen to a man when he says, I would have called you, girl, but I just didn't have time. Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Vicky Dillard, talk black to me 2 or 3 months. I just haven't had time. Does that mean that he really likes you? Or does that mean that he's just giving you some bullshit? Does that mean that he really, really didn't have the time? Or does that mean that he had better things to do? See, a man who says he ain't got the time to call you, it's usually just a man who don't like you. So you got to move on. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there are exceptions. Sometimes a man really is that busy and all this other stuff. But I'm going to tell you, I've rarely met a heterosexual male, a healthy heterosexual male who did not make time for a gorgeous woman. I have yet to meet a man like Bill Clinton was busy trying to make peace in the Middle East and running the entire United States government and literally signing nuclear proliferation treaties, but he still made time to say, hey, Monica Lewinsky, you want to come in my office for a little while? I got something to talk to you about. We're going to have some private conversations. So people make time for the things that matter to them. They do the things that are important to them. Everything's about priorities. So what the reason that you have so many wealthy black people, so many powerful black celebrities who are caping for white people until the end of time, like white people love dogs. Well, we love dogs too. White people want to scream about immigration issues. Well, we think it's wrong to separate families at the border. Forget all the black families that were separated by Joe Biden and Bill Clinton in the 1994 crime bill. Forget all that. We ain't thinking about that. We talking about little Paco and his mama from El Salvador. Don't even live here, right? We're going to put them at the top of the pile because, my God, they're not black, so they must be more important than black people because everybody's more important than black people because black people ain't shit. Right? Seriously. Not that I don't feel bad for little Paco and his mama. I do. I mean, I don't want anybody to go through that. I would hate for anybody to be treated like a black person. My God, that's like the worst crime. Who in the world would ever treat another human being like a black person? Oh my God. At least treat them like a puppy. At least treat them like a dog. But like a black person? Oh my God. Right? So I don't want that kid to go through that, but I'm sitting there like, I know 100,000 black children who were separated from their families when Bill Clinton and Joe Biden and the Democratic Party decided to push forward one of the most oppressive, racist crime bills in the history of all mankind. I mean, they were doing some Adolf Hitler level shit to black people, sending them away to concentration camps by the thousands. And y'all got Negroes, powerful Negroes, running out, saving massa before they come and save their own people. All these wealthy black people, all these celebrities, all these powerful celebrities who can make a phone call and change the world with a damn phone call. Y'all should be ashamed of your damn self that you sitting in the middle of luxury and everything else, and your community is falling to pieces. Your community is rotting like it has leprosy. Your community is, you go back to the hood, you're like, yeah, I'm real. I keep it real. I go back to visit my family in the hood. And your wealthy $100 million ass is walking through the middle of neighborhoods that look like freaking war zones. And somehow you think that means you keeping it real. Well, you ain't keeping it real if you ain't taking up these issues the way you taking up those white issues that they got you talking about at the Oscars. Seriously. And Oprah, unfortunately, Oprah's kind of in the middle of that. As soon as the whole Me Too nonsense took off, Oprah was the first one to be up there talking about me too, we women, me too. Ain't never been into all of that before. But now that she sees that that's kind of the momentum, that's the wave. That's what Penelope Cruz is talking about, or Reese Witherspoon, or whoever these white people's names are. I don't know I don't know these people. But whatever they're talking about, like that's what Oprah starts talking about. And then Seal, God bless Seal, the singer Seal. Seal called her to the carpet. Seal was like, isn't that you in this picture with Harvey Weinstein? Like, how are you? And you probably knew about Harvey. Everybody knew. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to Harvey Weinstein, don't y'all believe that shit about, oh, well, we had no idea. We didn't think that, blah, 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 blah. No. Everybody knew about Harvey Weinstein 5 years ago. Everybody knew. I knew about Harvey Weinstein, and I don't even know that many white people. I knew about Harvey Weinstein, and I don't live in Hollywood. I don't hang out with a lot of celebrities. I'm not in the Hollywood culture. So if little old Boyce Watkins sitting across the country who probably knows like one white person for every 50 black people I know knew about Harvey Weinstein before the whole scandal popped off, don't you think that Oprah, the queen of Hollywood, had some idea of what was going on? So let's just be clear. Oprah's a political animal. She takes the temperature before she steps outside. She knows what she's walking into. She knows if she's in a headwind or a tailwind. Oprah knows these things, and she's very strategic about that shit. She's not somebody who just sort of blindly wants to do the right thing. She does the right thing if it's convenient. She does the wrong thing if it's not convenient to do the right thing, right? Oprah Winfrey. In fact, you pay attention on that Michael Jackson thing. Oprah was real geeked about those interviews she was doing after the Michael Jackson thing, because I guess her and Gail were working together, and Gail's like, I'm gonna go get R. Kelly, and you go get Michael Jackson, and we'll make the world safer because we'll make sure that at least these two black men are not respected by anyone. R. Kelly, I didn't care so much about, honestly, but at the same time, I think once again, it's not so much whether or not R. Kelly's guilty. That's not the issue. The issue is whether or not he's the only one, and why you picked him and went after him 8 times without going after a white man once. Like, why? I don't understand that. Why are you beating the dead horse called R. Kelly when yes or no, yes or no, yes or no? This is about a little bit about Gail, Oprah's best buddy. How many of you knew that R. Kelly wasn't right a decade ago? How many of you knew this a decade ago? Yes or no? Did you know? Who knew? Who knew? I knew. How many of you knew? Yes or no? Did you or did you not know that R. Kelly was a pretty fucked up person, like in 2009? Right. A lot of people knew that. A lot of people knew R. Kelly wasn't right. So let's just be clear. Those documentaries were not exposés. They didn't necessarily tell you anything new. They just gave you the specific names of the victims, the details, things that you didn't have. But people knew R. Kelly was accused of peeing on a girl back in 2003, 2004, something like that. So I've been canceled, R. Kelly. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not. I think I love. You can listen to his music. I mean, I don't pay artists when I listen to it. I listen on Spotify or on the radio or something or whatever. I don't pay for it. I don't buy. Who buys music anymore? Nobody really does it anymore, right? So my thing was, you're not telling the public anything new. You're not going after this predator that no one knew about. You're not saving any children, because most good parents know to keep their babies away from R. Kelly. Most parents that got some sense know, hey, R. Kelly's here. That's my 13-year-old daughter. Don't even look at my daughter, Negro. We're about to leave. Right? There's no, real fathers are not going to let their daughters around R. Kelly. They know this. Why? Well, because he's an exposed threat. He's been an exposed threat for many, many, many years, about 15, 20 years now, since he married Aaliyah. And a 30-year-old man marrying a 15-year-old raised some eyebrows, right? Got people's attention, right? So here's the thing. If your goal really is to make the world safe against pedophiles, you're not just going to talk about R. Kelly. You might mention him quickly as an example of some of what's happening in the entertainment industry at large, but you're going to go find some people that people don't know about. You see, because there are people out here that are doing shit right now in the dark, and they're getting away with it because they know Oprah ain't coming. Gail ain't coming. They're not going to expose them, because these people are powerful, and they know that there will be political consequences and economic consequences if they were to expose these people. So to me, an expose is when you take somebody that you thought was an angel and find out that they're a devil, or even somebody that you thought might be a devil, and then you confirm that they're a devil, right? Like Bill Clinton. I've always thought he was a devil. I've always been suspicious of Bill Clinton. I've always felt like Bill Clinton lives a little bit like he's like a Democratic version of Donald Trump. They both he and Donald Trump probably had a threesome together or something at some point, because all them rich folks, they hang out together. They're all friends. They just pretend to be enemies just to make you guys happy. And I noticed that Bill Clinton's been real quiet during the whole Me Too stuff, because Bill Clinton is sitting there scared to death that somebody's going to call out his shit and they're going to do him like R. Kelly, but they're never going to do it because he's a rich white man and he's beloved by the Democratic Party. That's the difference between who gets hung out to dry and who gets a pass. So Bill Clinton gets a pass. Joe Biden gets a pass. All these people who engaged in methods of either or the exploitation and the harm of women and or the mass extermination of black people will get a pass from the Democratic Party and their Negro surrogates like the Simone Sanders and like the whatever that crazy lady's name is, Angela Rye, and people like that, because there's too much at stake. There's too much to lose if they talk about these people in a negative way. Let's move on. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done this. It's very important. Hit the thumbs up button. So here's the thing about Oprah and Robert Smith. Let's circle back around to that so we can make sure we have closure on this conversation. We don't want to be like the Game of Thrones finale where they just pissed on all their fans and gave them garbage. I don't want to do that. I want to give you something that you can walk away with. I don't know if anybody else watches Game of Thrones. That's my favorite. That was my favorite white people show until the finale. The finale was just horrible. It was boring. It was ridiculously bad. I couldn't believe that they put out that garbage after putting out so much good stuff before. In fact, actually the ratings for that particular finale in terms of viewer satisfaction were lower than any of the season finale in the history of that show. Every season finale, the worst rating they ever got was 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. This one got 56%. That's how bad it was. It was just I was sad as hell. But anyway, finishing up with Robert Smith and Oprah. Here's the thing. Here's what Robert Smith did, and this is why I am a fan of Robert Smith, assuming he does everything he says he's going to do. Now, that's neither here nor there. Let me move forward. Robert Smith, what he did that is very powerful, that Oprah's having to answer for, is Robert Smith basically upped the ante. That's what he did. Robert Smith came in, in the midst of a space where lots of black celebrities get away with nothing when it comes to the black community because our self-esteem is low, our standards are low. White women would not consider you to be a great feminist if you went and gave a bunch of college students a copy of your book. Like they don't care about that. They don't see. They're like, no, we need you to write a couple. You write a check for about $2, $3, $4 million. We need you to use your massive platform. We need you to be consistent with this. Like we're white women, so we have high standards for what we expect when you are trying to be considered to be a true supporter of our cause, right? Black people have low self-esteem. Black people are like, oh shoot, she shouted us out in her music video. Oh, she loves us. She acknowledges that she's one of us, right? Like that's how black people think. That's where we are. We're so used to being ignored. We're so used to getting nothing. We're so used to getting the scraps. We're so used to being left behind. We're so used to being only remembered when it's convenient that when a celebrity just simply goes on stage and gives an Oscar speech and just says, well, as an African American, I feel, we're like, oh my God, she said she's an African American. That's so amazing. Oh my God. Right. Like that's the way we operate. So here's what Robert Smith did though. Robert Smith came in and he upped the ante. He said that ain't enough. He wasn't trying to diss nobody with the gift. I think he was just trying to do the right thing. At least that's what I get. Until I hear otherwise, that's what I'm going to assume. He upped the ante on these black celebrities by making them look stupid. He showed them up. He made their little contributions look tacky. I dare to say that Robert Smith came in and he did a Bill Cosby on those motherfuckers, in the sense that, remember, Cosby was giving gangster levels of money to HBCUs. Cosby was giving the generational wealth to HBCUs. Cosby was giving the kind of money that would educate thousands of black children for the next 100, 200, 300 years. Oprah, God bless her though. I'm not hating on Oprah entirely on this, but maybe I am. Who knows? However you want to look at it. Oprah, her response to the tweet was that she put 400 Morehouse men through college, and I think she said she gave $13 million. I don't know if she gave 13 million. I don't think she gave 13 million to Morehouse. I think she gave 13 million to colleges across the country, right? And you can't tell me that some of those colleges aren't white schools, right? And now again, $13 million is still $13 million now. You can't act like that's nothing. You can't act like that's nothing. But in terms of comparing the two, Oprah can't compare to a Bill Cosby who gave $20 million to Spelman back in the 1980s, which would be about $40 million today. So the only person in the history of giving that I know of who's ever given at the level of a Robert Smith has actually been the man that y'all have been told by people like Oprah to be worthless. The man that that we're supposed to act like he never did nothing good for nobody because a few white women decided 40 years later that they're going to bring up shit that happened when they were all partying and getting high and drunk together back in the 1970s. I'm not trying to say that Cosby's innocent. I'm not trying to go to that length. I don't have to go to that length to say that he's certainly not guilty. I don't know if Cosby's innocent or not, but he's certainly not guilty. Not guilty does not mean innocent. Not guilty, if you understand how the law works, not guilty does not mean that you're innocent. Not guilty means that they do not have proof beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed those crimes. Not guilty means that people have a right to ask legitimate questions about the Cosby situation. Like why didn't all of y'all, none of y'all call the cops? Why didn't none of y'all file a police report? Why didn't none of y'all get a rape kit? Why is it that all of y'all get to claim white women's executive privilege, like the president has executive privilege, which protects him from any accountability and allows him to avoid really giving details on questions he don't want to answer? Why is it that white women get to invoke executive privilege and say, well, we're white women, so we don't have to answer those questions? Because if you ask us questions, you're victim blaming. If you all the responsibility must be on somebody else, because you can't put any responsibility on us. If you put responsibility on us, well, that's victim blaming, right? Nobody has the right to ask me why I didn't call the cops. Nobody has the right to ask me why I ran around for 20 years telling everybody Bill Cosby my best friend. Nobody has the right to ask me why I kept blowing up his phone looking for him whenever I needed money. Nobody has the right to ask me how many times I was looking for Cosby so he could give me more drugs. Nobody has the right to ask me nothing, because God damn it, I'm a white woman. You ain't got a right to ask me shit. That's what that Cosby shit is all. That's the issue. It ain't that Cosby's innocent. It's that Cosby is not guilty. Very different things. Now, you showed me evidence, then I'm a robber. You showed me proof, videotape, 24 police reports filed on this man, then I'm good. Then you're getting somewhere. That adds up to me. I'm a mathematician. I know that 2 + 2 is 4. I've known that for a while. But when you tell me that somebody is going to prison largely because some white woman says 14 years ago he grabbed my boob and then he paid me $3 million because I sued him and he wanted the lawsuit to go away. But he paid, so I'm a white woman. If you grab my boob, $3 million is not enough for a titty grab. I'm not saying that it's okay to do a titty grab, but I'm saying, goddamn, at what point do you say, okay, you have been made whole? You have been made whole. Good. Move on with your life now. Nothing else to see here. You got your reparations. That white woman got her that manly looking chick that sent Cosby to prison, because she's a weird looking lady. I ain't gonna lie, she really is. I got to tell the truth. That manly looking woman who chased down Cosby for 15 years, she got her reparations. When black people get our reparations, then they're going to say, okay, here you go. How much do you want? If they were to pay it, if they were to do the right thing, they would say, how much do you want? We would say, okay, we want $10 trillion and we need you to do this, and this in our communities. Then they're going to say, okay, we're good now, right? Right. And a lot of us will say, yeah, we good now. Thank you for acknowledging. Thank you for making us whole. Thank you for paying your debt. Thank you for doing what's right. It doesn't take away the fact that you hurt us, but we're not going to come back and ask for more reparations after you just gave us $10 trillion. We're not going to come back and act like you never paid shit. We're not going to come back and be like, well, y'all motherfuckers ain't never did nothing for us because we suffering because no, we're not going to do that. We're going to say, okay, this is this is what is called racial progress. Right. So that white woman got her reparations for the alleged titty grab. And I say she shouldn't even have got that because, number one, $3 million is a lot of money. And number two, there's no proof. I wish I had the power to go and make and tell a story that I just pulled out of my ass and have somebody give me $3 million because of a story I pulled out of my ass where I have no proof. Can you imagine a world where a black man, let's flip the race. So in case, for those of y'all in the back who still ain't got it, who still don't quite see what I'm saying here, like, let's imagine a world. I'm a black man. I've been a black man my whole life now. Imagine me as a black man being able to go back to 1988, back when Dougie Fresh was a teenager, and create an imaginary incident that happened with some white man, and then say, he was mean to me, he emotionally traumatized me, and he grabbed my penis when I was working at Taco Bell, and I've been traumatized ever since, and I want $3 million, and I want him to go to jail, and I want to ruin his life. Would that fly? Would people believe me, or would they think I was crazy? What would they think? Would they think I was? Would they think I was would people like say, sure, okay, we're gonna go and lock him up? Or would they think I was a little bit off? Or would they say, boy, she probably needs some proof. There's no evidence. Would they say that to me? And what if I said, no, 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 I don't need any evidence. If you ask me for evidence, you're victim blaming. And they said, well, Boyce, why did you file an HR report when you were on the job? If you grabbed your penis and called you the N-word or whatever, you should have filed a complaint. And I'm like, no, you can't ask me why I didn't file a complaint. There's reasons. There's emotional damage that occurs when a person experiences racism that makes us afraid to tell anybody about it. Well, what would probably happen? People might understand. They might say, okay, that makes sense, but we can't operate. We can't move forward just based on what you said. We need you to have some proof because this is a person's life at stake. So my logic will sound pretty crazy. Tell me yes or no. Would I probably get challenged on that? At least would you think people would just, or you think they would just go ahead and just destroy the person just because I said so? They would challenge me. They would challenge me. You see, so if it sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, why does it not sound crazy when it comes out of the mouth of a white woman? Why does the whole perspective change when we're talking about white women versus black men? That's the best way to see white female privilege. Every time you see a white woman do something or say something or behave in a certain way, I want you to say, I wonder what would happen if that was a black man who said and did the same thing. We used to do that all the time when I was, my PhD's in finance. I have a PhD, so I'm not stupid. And one thing we used to do is we used to have equations and we would change variables. We would say, what if you took this, what if you took X and turned it into Y? Or what if you took this one variable over here and increased it by 30%? What would that look like in the result, right? That's what we used to do all the time. So I do that all the time in life. I'll be like, I wonder what would happen if the words coming out of that white woman's mouth actually came out of the mouths of a black man or whatever. Like how would that look? And every time I do that, the imagery becomes crazy. I'm like, wow, this really highlights how ridiculously fucked up our society is, how horribly racist it is. My whole book, I wrote a book in 2004 called What If George Bush Were a Black Man? And all that was me doing that sort of multivariate analysis to say, what if you took everything Bush did, everything that he did in his life, every way he lived, every choice he made, and had a black man make the same choices? What would the outcomes be? Right. So long story short, going back to Cosby, I don't know if he's innocent, but I know he's not guilty. I know he's not guilty. That's not the same as innocent. I also think that Cosby deserves credit for what he did for HBCUs. Don't nobody won't say his name because we act like prison inmates don't exist. We act like all the brothers in prison don't matter. We act like those people were never born. And I say that they do matter. Your little cousin up in prison, he matters. He didn't die and disappear and go to another dimension because he was sent away to the penitentiary. He's real. He's a human being. He's just like you. He had hopes and dreams just like you. The black woman sitting behind bars away from her children, she's going through 100 times more pain than that immigrant woman who chose to try to come across the border, who happened to get caught. My heart goes out to them. I understand that maybe they're fighting for a better life. God bless them for that. But the fact of the matter is that certain things have to come first. That mother sitting behind bars, that black woman sitting behind bars away from her babies has been put through 10 times more hell because nobody's even hearing her screams at night. Nobody's hearing her cries. Right. So what I'm saying to you is that, when you say Black Lives Matter, we need to really know what that means. And we need to always make sure that we remember what that means. And we need to pressure our celebrities to know what that means. Black Lives Matter means that you handle your business at home before you start going solving problems abroad. It means that you handle your issues domestically before you start handling issues internationally. It means that you take care of your own before you start taking care of everybody else. It don't mean you can't help other people. It don't mean you can't commingle and cooperate and do whatever it is you want to do. But one thing that is never acceptable is the idea of you taking good care of everybody else and then giving black people the crumbs. Now, what I give Robert Smith credit for is upping the ante and saying, yes, black men, your lives matter. I'm going to step up and I'm going to do something for you that is historic on this day. I'm going to pay off your student loans. There's other people out there like me who could do this, but they're choosing not to. But I'm going to get it in. I'm going to really make sure I show you that I'm in it with both feet, and I'm going to do something that's really going to change your life. And so what happens when he does that, something so spectacular that gets all that attention, don't you think for a second that Oprah Winfrey wasn't feeling a little self-conscious, particularly since black people have already given her shit for what she did on Michael Jackson, which they should have. I think they should have, because it was very unfair and biased. Ronique West says, it was always weird to me that Oprah and Obama are from Chicago, but have not truly addressed the issues there. Even if they just fought gentrification and made money off it, that alone speaks volumes. Absolutely, Ronique. That is an excellent point. Excellent point. Did y'all know that in Chicago, almost half of all the young black men between the ages of 20 and 24 don't have jobs and are not in school? Did y'all know that? And so when you take a black man who doesn't have a job and he's not in school, there's only a few more options left for him. Either he's marginalized, he's at home, on his mama's couch, smoking weed and playing Xbox all day, which means that he's never going to be anybody's, or he's going to have a hard time becoming somebody's husband and father one day. Because to do those things, it's easier to do those things when you're able to provide and when you have something going on in your life. I'm not saying you can't do it, because they probably will be fathers. Mind you, they will be fathers, because everybody gonna be fucking. Everybody's having sex. Right? The penis still works, even if you're sitting at home in your mama's basement smoking weed and playing Xbox all day. But the question is, what kinds of men are they going to be for our community? So they can a lot of them will either end up marginalized in prison. There's plenty of jobs in prison for black men. There's always full employment for black men in the penitentiary. You're making $1 a day. You will never not have a job in prison. They've always got a place for you in prison, right? Or in the cemetery. That's another way they can make money from you before you die, right? So that's pretty much it. There aren't any other spaces for that. And so I agree with you, Ronnie. Thank you for that donation, first of all, and thank you for that comment, because that does spark thoughts in my head, because I live in Chicago, and you see the South and the West side of Chicago getting obliterated, dozens of black people being killed, every month. It's an absolute mess in some of those areas. And a person like an Obama could fix that probably in about 3 days. A person like Oprah could go in and just literally, if she just made that the most important thing on her agenda for about a week, Oprah could change thousands of people's lives in the city of Chicago. For whatever reason, she doesn't do it. I'm not going to sit here and say Oprah never did anything for anybody, though. Oprah's done a lot for a lot of people. But the question becomes, where are your top priorities? And did you really help get the job done? Did you really help get the job done? So that's what I'll say on that. I think that what Robert Smith did is awesome. I think Oprah's done some good things. What I'm really hoping is that other celebrities will be put to shame to realize, okay, it's nice that you gave $100,000 to HBCUs. That's cool. But we know that you're worth $250 million, or we know that you're worth $2 billion, and you could have done more. And I think that our celebrities, our community has to be responsible for supporting our institutions and supporting our people. And that's all there is to it. You can't consider yourself a successful black person when your whole community's fallen into shambles. You just can't. You're not successful. You just escaped the problem. You ran away. You're like a father or a mother who leaves the family because things are too hard in the family, and so your children starve to death, but you live in good and you think that you win it. Let me see here. It says, I hope Oprah got mad enough to spit. It's time to address the chicanery. I agree with you 100%. Thank you for your donation, by the way. I appreciate that very much. And I agree with you 100%. I think Oprah probably feels self-conscious about it. Notice Oprah does not usually respond to people on Twitter like that. She doesn't usually clap back at people. And so the fact that she clapped back like that, to me, that tells me that she is that she's feeling some kind of way, that she's like, oh, these ungrateful motherfuckers, and I think Oprah at some point is going to commit to some grand gesture that will help her match up with Robert Smith on some level. And I love that. I think that that's great. We need a little competition in terms of who's going to do the most for your own damn people. Who's going to do the most for black folks? I would support that competition more than I support shows like Little Big Shots. Like, if all it would be more entertaining to watch than any game show you've ever seen, because that's what we need. We need competition to see who can do the most to elevate black people, who can do the most to get our Black students ahead? Who can do the most to go into and fix up our hoods? Who can do the most to help our community move forward? Who can do the most powernomics in the Black community that really impacts people's lives? And that's what you're looking for. All right. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe. You're at drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. It's for people who are Black and intelligent. Don't forget, we're on iTunes, so you can download the podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud. Those are two places you can go where you can listen as opposed to just watch. In case you're in the car, you're on the corporate plantation, you got to sneak and listen so your boss don't hear you. You listening. Also, in the Black Business School, which we have 80,000 students, we teach financial literacy, wealth building, all these things. That's what my PhD is in. We have a bunch of faculty and things like that. Lots of guest speakers, lots of great, powerful information. Make sure you join theblackbusinessschool.com. And also, my masterclass meets Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. It's basically the digital version of what I did here live in Philadelphia, and everybody in Philly loved it. And so if you want to go take a look, feel free to go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. If you want to learn how to invest, that's a great place to go. And that's it. I'm out of here, guys. One more thing. Somebody asked this too. Our financial workbooks for children that we created with Black educators to help your children learn financial literacy. I think they're really helpful for the summer. The summer's coming. Your kids should not be sitting around doing nothing. They shouldn't just be going to football camp, basketball camp, and cheerleading camp. We need to put them in Powernomics camp. They need to be in Wealth Builder camp. Put them in Millionaire camp. Millionaire camp is the camp that's inside your house, and that means that you have them maybe go through the workbooks if you want to. We have workbooks created for your children. Give them a couple dollars, or if they ask for money, ask for new shoes. Say, hey, I need you to go through this workbook and learn these concepts, and then I'll get you the new shoes. That's what you do. That's what I do with the kids in my house. So if you want to take a look at our financial workbooks, please visit financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com, or our flashcards for children on wealth, as well as we have some on investing and we have some on entrepreneurship. You can go to financialflashcards.com. That's financialflashcards.com. All right. So I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Have a great day. And I'm going to go get on this airplane. I'll see you soon. Peace.